Grazer J's TED Talk very quick. So I very, very rarely do off-the-cuff sets. In fact, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've done a set completely off the cuff. I don't do them. My brain does not work that way. I have to have, at the very least, a plan. Even when I'm doing live shows, live sets, I have a rough idea in my head what tracks I'm going to play, what order I'm going to play them in, and how I want that set to go. People kept telling me, oh, you've got to play off the cuff. That does not work for me. So, first thing I would say, Sam, is find what works for you. Now, for me, when it comes to, you've got very large playlists. I know from experience that on a typical hard house set, in a typical 2-hour set, I will get through anywhere between 25 to 30 tracks, depending on how fast I'm playing them and depending on how long each track is. So, for my streams, I don't have any more than 32 tracks on a USB. Because I know I'm not going to get through them all. But also because I extensively plan. I'm going to let you on a little secret, and I'm going to cheat here. You're going to see how I cheat. Every single track that I've got, when I uploaded it onto this USB via record box, was in the order that I know I want to play them at because I spent all day listening to them. That's how I work. So, I'm not going to give you I can't give you advice because it depends on how you work. That would be my first piece of advice. Find out what works for you. As you can probably tell, I'm autistic. I like plans. I like frameworks. So I just use that to my advantage. Is it, you get people say, how do you feel? I don't. When I'm doing live shows, I have audience in front of me. I can go with it, but I still always have a framework in my head. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. If off the cuff works for you, but you're being put off by a massive playlist, cut down the number of tracks that you've got to choose from. You can still do off the cuff. You can still do it off the top of your head. You've just got less to work with. Anyway, that's kind of how I've done it, how I've learned. And as I said, just work on what works for you. Planning sets works for me. Off the cuff works for other people. But that would be my biggest thing. But yeah, there you go. You have kids in your life because you give them no time to prep. Yeah, it's probably why I don't have kids, mate, because I keep reading Blackjack's things, and I'm just like, I probably would have thrown my kids out the window, quite literally. Anyway, that was Grazer J's TED Talk on how he plans sets. Let's get back to the music, because this isn't like a talk show. We should do one of those, actually. I might actually have to set up an Insanity podcast. We should do it. Anyway.